So this is another way of using persuasion on yourself and using persuasion through as a means of getting somebody to do something. If you dangle a carrot in front of somebody, they will go to extents that they probably hadn't gone before. Probably. I'm saying probably because I don't know everyone, but probably. You can make people do something that they otherwise wouldn't have done if you give them a reward, a carrot of some sort. Here's an example. There's a British UFC fighter named Harry Hardwick who recently, not a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so ago, sadly lost his second appearance in the UFC. He fought well, he put on a real good scrap, he engaged in a slugfest that lasted for a grand total of 2 rounds. Then by the end of round 2 he had to quit, or he had to resign. He had to, what's the word I'm looking for? He had to retire on his stool and lose the fight because his jaw was broken. Now, he ended up earning a $100,000 UFC fight bonus because of his performance, and because he put on what they called a fight of the night, which was well deserved and well earned, in my opinion, because I watched the fight and it was a hell of a slugfest. I really enjoyed it. It was a real good scrap. Anyway, if he and if others, but by the way, I don't remember the guy who he fought. I don't remember the guy's name, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is this. Both of these men, and every single UFC fighter, I would assume, they walk into the cage fully knowing that they're putting their lives at risk. They're putting their health at risk, and they're doing so for the benefit of the crowd, but also because there is a potential fight of the night reward waiting for them. So, if they're putting on a show, if they're engaging in a slugfest, if they're slugging it out, taking hits left and right, fracturing their jaws, earning a black eye, whatever it is, getting knocked out, then they might end up earning a fight of the night reward bonus, which is, sometimes it's 100 grand, other times it's 50 grand. I've even heard stories about earning a 200 grand fight of the night bonus. I mean, I guess it all depends. I'm not here to cast an opinion about the fight of the night bonus size. Obviously, I believe it should be way more because they're putting their health at risk. But the point is, this is the UFC's way of persuading the fighters to engage in a slugfest. And this is really what an employer is all about. The deal is, the arrangement is for a job, for any sort of work is, you sacrifice something. For the most part, you sacrifice your time for money. So if I go to my job and I sacrifice my time, then I get paid through a monthly or bi-weekly, whatever it is, salary, right? That's the arrangement. That's the deal. If I and somebody else agree to a piece of work, we agree that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z work in exchange for X, Y, and Z compensation, then that's their way of persuading me. That's their way of dangling a carrot in front of my face. And so, if there is no carrot in front of my face, if there is no carrot dangling in front of me, if there is no compensation, if there is no payment, if there is no salary, then why in the world would I bother doing a job? Why would I? It doesn't make any sense. There is no reason for me to do it because I'm not earning anything. I don't work for free. If I work for free, it's either because my friend needs some help, or maybe, I don't know, maybe one of my children needs help, or whatever it is. I don't really know. Maybe my mother needs help, I don't know, painting the walls inside of our living room. I don't really know. Here's what I do know though. Then I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart. But I'm not working for my employer out of the goodness of my heart. I'm working for my employer to make money and also to make money for my employer. That's the deal. That's the arrangement. And it's the same thing when it comes to the UFC. These fighters, well, I mean, technically speaking, they want to put on a show because they some of them probably find it funny, and some of them want to seek out the thrill and the agony of walking inside that cage and putting on a performance. But the deal is still, they're potentially sacrificing their health for the reward that is the fight pay, the fight salary, whatever you want to call it, and the potential fight of the night bonus. The point is, if you want to persuade somebody, dangle a carrot in front of their face, especially if it's something that's difficult or time consuming, whatever it is. If you want to learn more about persuasion, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.